All right, so you want to be a stand-in. Huh. Well, buckle up, Buttercup, because this deep dive is going to be your secret weapon. We're going deep into the world of stand-ins with these awesome career and interview guides from RoleCatcher. And let me tell you, these guides do not disappoint.
We're talking insider secrets to answer those tricky interview questions and really understand what it takes to thrive in this unique role.
Because let's be real, being a stand-in is way more than just, well, standing around.
That's right. It's not about fading into the background. It's about being the unsung hero of the set.
Okay, so paint me a picture. What does a stand-in actually do?
Well, the What They Do section in the RoleCatcher guide really breaks it down. Imagine this. The director's setting up a shot likes, camera angles, the whole shebang. But the lead actors, they're busy, right? Getting hair and makeup done, rehearsing
So
lines.
that's where you come in. You're literally standing in their place so the crew can get everything perfect before the cameras even roll on the actual actors.
Exactly. It's all about efficiency. While the stars are off doing their thing, you're the one making sure the technical stuff runs like clockwork. Talk about behind the scenes MVP.
Okay, so you're telling me I need to know my way around a film set. What about the tech stuff? Cameras, lenses, all that jazz.
That's a great point. The technology advances section in the guide talks about how things like VR and motion capture are changing the game, even if it's not a core skill yet. Knowing about these trends shows you're forward thinking.
It's like saying, hey, I'm not just here for today. I'm invested in the future of filmmaking. Okay, so we talked about the role. Now let's get down to brass tacks. Those interview questions that can make or break you.
Absolutely. Let's start with a common one. Tell us about your previous experience as a stand-in.
Okay, that seems straightforward enough. But what if you're thinking, wait a minute, I haven't actually been a stand-in before?
Don't panic. That's where transferable skills come in. The Getting Started section in the career guide suggests mentioning any background actor work. Even if it's just being part of a crowd scene, it shows you've been on a set and understand the environment.
Unless you probably picked up on the lingo, the etiquette, all those little things that make you a pro, right?
Exactly. Now, let's say they ask, how do you prepare for a stand-in role? This one's all about showing your dedication and understanding that it's more than just standing there.
Because nobody wants to hear, well, I just stand there.
Right. You'll want to talk about studying the script, understanding the character's physicality, even researching the project or actors involved.
And here's where RoleCatcher's AI comes in handy, right?
Yeah.
Like it can actually analyze the job description and tell you the most important skills to emphasize for that specific role. It's like having a secret weapon for tailoring your answer.
Speaking of curveballs, how about this one? How do you handle difficult or unexpected situations on set?
Because, let's face it, things happen. Equipment malfunctions, weather changes, a rogue pigeon flies into the shot.
It's about staying calm, thinking on your feet, and finding solutions. Don't be afraid to share an example, even if it's not directly related to being a stand-in.
So like maybe you had to save a school play from disaster, or you had a particularly challenging group project. It's all about showing you can handle the pressure.
Exactly. And remember, no need to throw anyone under the bus. Focus on the positive, what you learned, how you adapted, and the outcome.
Speaking of learning and adapting, what about this one? How do you work with the director and production team for a successful production? I feel like that's a big one.
It is a big one. It's all about collaboration and communication. Remember, a film set is a team effort. You're not just taking directions, you're actively participating.
So instead of just saying, I'm a good listener, maybe give an example of a time you clarified instructions, asked a crucial question, or even offered a helpful suggestion.
Exactly. Show them you're proactive and engaged, not just passively following orders. Now, get ready for this one. Can you tell us about a time you had to improvise on set?
Ooh, that sounds a little scary. Like, what if you draw a blank?
Think back to a time you had to think on your feet and be resourceful. It doesn't have to be a dramatic, Oscar-worthy story.
Right. Maybe the script called for a prop you didn't have, or a scene needed to be adjusted on the fly. It's all about showcasing your ability to adapt and find creative solutions.
Absolutely. They want to see that you can handle the unexpected with grace and maybe even a touch of humor.
Be yourself, but like the best, most adaptable version of yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, on to another big one. How do you ensure you're fully prepared for a stand-in role before filming? This feels like a make-or-break question.
It's about showing you're professional and prepared. Talk about your pre-filming routine. Do you read the script multiple times? Research the director's style. These are the things that set you apart.
And what about this RoleCatcher's functions and core abilities section mentions skills like speaking, active listening, critical thinking. Are those important here?
Those are essential,
Yeah.
and they're constantly being evaluated throughout the interview, even if they're not explicitly asked about.
So it's like a hidden checklist. You're not just answering the question, you're demonstrating those core skills in action.
Precisely. Now, let's say they hit you with this towards the end. How do you stay focused and engaged during those long hours on set? Because let's face it, filming days can be grueling.
No kidding. How do you convince them you've got the stamina?
It's about demonstrating your commitment and finding ways to stay energized. Maybe you pace yourself, stay hydrated, or use downtime to review script notes or observe the actors.
Oh, I love that. Instead of just zoning out between takes, you're actively learning and absorbing the process.
Exactly. It shows you're fully present and engaged, even when you're not on. Now, here's one that seems simple but can trip people up. How do you ensure you're always on time and reliable?
Because nobody wants to be that person who holds up the entire production.
Exactly. It's about demonstrating professionalism and respect for everyone's time.
Okay, so what's a better answer than just, I set an alarm?
Talk about your system for time management. Maybe you use multiple reminders, plan your route in advance, or factor in extra time for traffic.
It's about showing that being on time is non-negotiable for you.
Precisely. And it demonstrates that you take responsibility for yourself, which is essential on a busy set. Now, if you're going for a more senior role, they might ask about balancing work with personal commitments.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. The film industry is known for its demanding schedule.
Exactly. So the question might be something like, how do you balance the demands of a stand-in role with your personal life? It requires some honesty and thoughtfulness.
Because you can't just say personal life. What personal life?
Right. You got to show them you're realistic, you know? Talk about open communication with loved ones, setting boundaries when possible. Having a support system is key in this industry, that's for sure.
So it's about showing them you're committed to the job, but also value your well-being. Like that saying, you can't pour from an empty cup.
Exactly. A well-rested stand-in is a focused stand-in. Okay, brace yourself because this next one can be tricky. Can you describe a time you had to work with difficult personalities on set?
Yeah.
Everybody loves a good conflict resolution question, right?
Right. But seriously, how do you answer this one without sounding like you're gossiping about past colleagues?
It's all about choosing your example carefully. And for goodness sake, don't badmouth anyone. Focus on a situation where you maintained professionalism, communicated effectively, and found a resolution that benefited the team.
So it's less about the difficult personality and more about your ability to handle conflict with grace.
Exactly. And if you can tie in those core skills from RoleCatcher active listening, social perceptiveness even better, it subtly reinforces that you've done your homework. Speaking of RoleCatcher, let's talk about those AI features. They can really take your interview prep to the next level.
Okay, I'm starting to see how valuable this tool is. What's your favorite feature?
I'm particularly impressed by the video practice tool. To have AI analyze your responses, not just for content, but for delivery, pacing, even your body language, that's huge.
It's like having a personal coach in your pocket.
I mean,
getting feedback on those nonverbal cues can make or break an interview, especially on camera.
No doubt about it. And let's not forget about RoleCatcher's ability to tailor your answers to specific job descriptions.
Right. So instead of giving generic responses, you're providing targeted answers that demonstrate a deep understanding of the role and the company.
It's like having a secret weapon, making sure you're highlighting the exact skills they're looking for. Now, how about we tackle a few more of those challenging interview questions?
Let's do it. I'm feeling much more confident now that we have RoleCatcher in our corner.
All right, so back to those interview questions. Imagine this. They hit you with, what's your understanding of different camera lenses and how they affect your role as a stand-in?
Oh, okay. So now we're getting technical. I'll be honest. I wouldn't have even thought about that.
It's about showing them you're not just a body on set. You understand the bigger picture. You don't need to be a cinematographer or anything, but knowing how a wide-angle lens changes your positioning compared to, say, a telephoto lens. It shows you're paying attention.
So how do you even prepare for that kind of question?
Well, lucky for you, RoleCatcher's Career Guide actually has a whole section on basic camera techniques. It breaks down the different types of lenses, their effects on framing, perspective, all that good stuff. It's like a crash course in cinematography for stand-ins.
Wow, they really thought of everything. Okay, that's super helpful. Now let's talk about a question that always makes me nervous. Salary expectations. How do you handle that one?
Yeah, it's a tricky one, right? You don't want to aim too high, but you also don't want to undervalue yourself.
Exactly. So what's the secret?
RoleCatcher to the rescue again. They have these awesome salary insights. You just put in the job title, the location, and their AI analyzes industry data to give you a realistic salary range.
No way.
Yeah.
So you can go into the interview feeling confident that you're asking for what you're worth.
Exactly. Knowledge is power, my friend. Now, one last thing. Don't forget to ask insightful questions at the end of the interview.
Oh, right. It shows you're engaged, genuinely interested. But what kind of questions should you even ask about being a stand-in?
Think about what you want to know. Maybe ask about the director's working style or what a typical day on set looks like for the stand-in.
Or if there are opportunities to, like, shadow other crew members and learn different aspects of filmmaking?
Exactly. Showing that you're eager to learn and grow within the industry. That's huge.
This deep dive has been amazing. We've covered so much ground, from the nitty-gritty of being a stand-in to rocking that interview like a pro.
And remember, confidence is key. You've got the knowledge, the skills, and with RoleCatcher by your side, you're well on your way to landing your dream job in the exciting world of film.
And who knows, maybe we'll see you on set one day. Until then, break a leg.